Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Thursday, the 12th day of May, which is the fourth day of Iyar. Here we go. You know that in the Ten Commandments itself, right out in our Torah, it says that you shall not make graven images. They could lead to idol worship. And you might think that this doesn't apply to us in any way, shape, or form, but this could mean that when somebody wants to make a statue of the sun, the moon, the stars, or anything like that, that's the kind of image that God is telling us in the Torah not to create. And therefore, those people who want to make statues of sun, moon, even people in other situations like that could be guilty of making graven images. Anyone who's into making statues or anything like that should speak to a rabbi very carefully about what he is allowed to make and what he isn't allowed to make, because it is one of the things that our Torah tells us not to do. But for us specifically today, we want to get into the nitty-gritty of sun and moon pictures in our homes and how we should feel about that. The general rule is, according to a lot of rabbis, is that when they're there for educational purposes, that they're fine. So that, let's say, when a kid during Parshas Bereishis comes home from his playgroup with a picture of the sun or the moon, that's fine because it's an educational thing, teaching him what the sun is and what the moon is, and seriously, that's going to make it okay. Don't think, by the way, that just because the sun is two-dimensional and it's just a flat picture on a piece of paper that makes it fine, because the sun and the moon, even as we see them today when we look up into the sky, they are two-dimensional for us when we look at them. We just see a flat picture of the sun when we look at the sun or the moon. So a flat picture of the sun or the moon at home is a bit of a problem also. To those of you who like to take sunset pictures, you might want to speak to your rabbi about that. Some rabbis say it's best when some of the sun is concealed, below the sunset line or sunrise line, so that you're not seeing the full image of the sun. But a full-fledged picture of the sun in your home could be considered a problem. Please speak to your rabbi about that. Again, if they're there for educational purposes, like it's your kid's project that he brings home on Parshas Bereishis, then that's okay. If it's the week of Yosef's dream and there were 11 stars bowing down to him in his dream and his Mora drew a picture of that, so that too would be probably considered educational and the child could bring it home. But for you and I to just have sun and moon images around our house could be considered a problem. If you're doing it for astronomy purposes, or you're learning the laws of Kiddush HaChodesh and you want to see how the moon goes around the sun and you want to have something of that so that you could show it to the people you're teaching it to, then that too is educational purposes, and for that it would be allowed. And there will be people who have images of the solar system, little model images of them, so that they could show how the Earth spins and the moon does that and the sun is over here. So doing all those kinds of things for educational purposes would be considered allowed. If someone has a beautiful picture of a lunar eclipse and he wants to show that so that he could teach what a lunar eclipse is and looks like, that would make it permissible too. Here's a fun one. The rabbis even discuss, how people make moon-shaped cookies. Those are totally fine. That's just a cookie. It's just in the shape of a moon, and no one's considering that really an image of the moon, and they're fine, and you can eat them and all that. Also, those moras who like to give out stars, so they could put them on the child as a sticker for being a star, that's not really an image of the stars in the sky, so that would be fine to give out also. But real live sun pictures, moon pictures, and star pictures, if they're in your home, there's something to discuss with your rabbi. You're certainly not supposed to make them. Can you have them in your home? A beautiful sunset shot, is it okay to leave that in your home? To go ahead and discuss it with your rabbi, because it is something to talk about depending on what the picture looks like. But again, if it's for educational purposes, that makes it permissible. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.